What's up, you guys? We are back at the Man Up Club Presents for another podcast episode on Holy Culture Radio. I have two guests with me, but I am your host, Selena Lena, aka Sis from Sis and Low Bro. I'm also the youth and program director of the Man Up Club. Now, the Man Up Club gives voices to young black males. We are located in the Twin Cities. The Man Up Club is a nonprofit organization for young black males between the ages of 13 and 24, where we teach life skills, social skills, academic discipline, and civic responsibility. If that is an organization you would love to support, go ahead and go to www.themanupclub.org. So let's jump into this conversation, okay? We are going to talk about self-improvement and mindset. Y'all say what's up real quick. Just say what's up.
How y'all doing?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Okay, so I have Emmanuel Blackshear. He is a man of God in the Christian faith. He's a Minnesota realtor, real estate investor, and social media influencer. And what's crazy about today's episode is that the man right next to him is pretty much doing the same thing, which is really crazy. And they both just found out that they run in the same circles. Next to him is Tashawn Kelly, better known as TK. He's also a man of God in the Christian faith. He's a business coach. He's a realtor and social media influencer. Did I get that pretty okay?
That sounds right.
Okay.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, anything else that you want to let the people know that you do, or did I kind of cover everything?
I think you kind of covered it. I'm a realtor full-time, just helping people, buy or sell homes and just trying to bring the community back together in that way. So that's what I do full-time. So I think you hit that right on the mark.
Dope.
I ended up, I went to Bethel University, so I am a Christian. I'm a man of faith, and he's played a huge role in my life. So I think you hit it right on the mark.
That's what's up. What about you, TK? Anything that I missed? Anything that you want to tell the people?
Man, I think that you got everything done flawlessly and perfectly. The thing that I would just say is one thing about me is I'm very family orientated, and I also am a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, one of the best fraternities in the world.
Okay, I know that's right. You better represent. Okay, so let's dive into this conversation. We're going to talk about self-improvement. Let's talk the basics of self-improvement. You both are doing amazing things. The way that you carry yourself and the way that I see you move from afar is just very respectable. Emmanuel, you can go first. What is your recipe for self-improvement? Because it may be different from other people.
Well, I appreciate what you said in the beginning. I would say where it starts is really personal development and investing in yourself, taking the time to invest in yourself. I'm big on, if I have to spend money to get education, or you got to pay to play sometimes, I feel like it really just comes down to the time that you're investing in yourself. Are you doing the activities that it takes to get to where you want to go? So you got to identify where you're looking to go first, and then which activities will take you there.
So I'm hearing education, and I'm hearing mindset.
Education, mindset, reflection, and investing in yourself. When I say investing, I mean reading, writing, reflecting, communicating with people, making sure that you're getting information. I feel like that is what separates the great from, the average is information. So just making sure that you're investing in yourself and you're getting educated and you're being a student of the game.
That's what's up. What about you, TK? What is your recipe for self-improvement?
Man, I love the answer that Emmanuel gave. I'm just going to go ahead and piggyback off of him with the self-reflection and improvement. So one of the things that I've learned at a very early age is that when you first wake up in those 30 to 20 minutes, that's when your brain is the most active. So when I first wake up, what I like to do is I pray first, and then secondly, I am listening to something very positive. I think that when you start your day and you hang around positivity and you think about positive thoughts, that's going to help your self-esteem, and that's just one effect of self-improvement. The other thing that Emmanuel will say is reflection. So again, with that, I actually have a journal for where I am writing down what it is that I did today, what went well, and then what I could improve on. So just that reflection piece and that self-awareness that Emmanuel was talking about is very, very key. I think a lot of men don't like writing in a journal because, they think of it as a diary. But really, I love writing in my journal because it lets me know the different conversations that I have that, again, were positive, that were great conversations that can benefit me, and knowledge that I learned that can help me advance. And then also it lets me know my flaws. What didn't I do well? What was I not productive in? So really having that journal has helped me really self-improve myself. And then also, like he said, everyone reads. You know, they said that if you read, I think 5 to 7 books a year, within 5 years, you'll become the top 1% of any subject that you're studying or category. So reading is very important. And again, just the self-awareness. You have to know what it is that you want, write down your goals, and then you use that journal to see if you're getting closer to it or if you're not. And that's really what I think self-improvement is. And then, like Emmanuel said, of just having a positive mindset. And with me having a positive mindset, I consistently always listen to positive things. So just like how you have to train your muscles, you have to train your brain to be positive and think positive. So
you literally are very regimented in daily journaling. Like, you're super consistent in that?
I would say yes.
Okay, wow. That's impressive. I just think that I mean, I don't find a lot of dudes who are very intentional with keeping a journal every single day. So that's really commendable. That's what's up. Obviously both of you are at this place now, and it's like, by your answers, you know what is best for you and you're executing that, right? But how did you even get here in the first place? Like, what motivated you to self-improve? Go ahead, Emmanuel.
I got to bring in, when I think about how I got here, two life experiences pop up to in my mind. And the first one was getting kicked off of the football team.
Okay.
In high school? In college.
Oh.
Yep. So I ended up getting kicked off the football team, and this forced me, that football was my identity at the time. So me getting out of football forced me to find something else to be good at. When all you did up to that point was play football, it was real eye-opening, and your perspective changes when you have to find what you're going to do in the real world.
I got a question. Was your dream to be an NFL player?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, I got you. Just like a lot of young men out here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, it was kind of hard to deal with that, but you just got to figure out how you're going to take that, how you're still going to reach that same level of success, but just in a different form. And the second experience was me quitting my 9-to-5 job. And when you put yourself in a situation like that, your back is against the wall and you got to make something happen. And it's like, yes, you can make excuses, but at the end of the day, you know what you got to do. And I feel like that's just what it comes down to.
What was your 9-to-5?
So I was a data analyst for a corporation.
Okay. Were you making a decent amount of money?
I was making great money. I was making fantastic money.
That's good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, IT and corporate is money.
Yeah, I was making fantastic money. But I went to school for psychology, so I was really unqualified for the position. And so I ended up getting the position, and then as I kind of got more responsibility within that role, they wanted me to start, doing a lot of coding, just building out applications and things like that. And I'm like, guys, I don't even know where to start. I just didn't see myself having those conversations long term. So I just chose to dive into something where I saw my strengths, and that eventually led me to real estate.
I want to pick a little bit more before we go to TK, because what's surprising is you had this 9-to-5, and it wasn't like it was a retail job, it was a 9-to-5 that was...
It was a good job.
It was a good job.
It was a solid job.
Right? So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have a 9-to-5, but they're living paycheck to paycheck. So it's not easy for them to just drop the job,
Mm-hmm.
So what, in your circumstance, what allowed you to have that comfortability to do that? Like, did you have money stacked up? Like, what was your situation?
I really didn't even have much saved. I'm not going to lie. It was, I wasn't happy in the position. I kind of told my bosses that as well. Like, is there a way that I could change positions or something like that? I just wasn't happy, and I really didn't even have much saved up. I'm not going to lie, but I love a challenge. And so I ended up I didn't want to overthink it too much. I knew I wasn't happy in the position, so I'm not going to force myself to be in a position where I'm not happy. So it really just came down to taking action, and it was scary. It was definitely a scary position, but that's where faith comes along, and you just kind of took my fear away, and it felt like the right decision. So I wasn't in the best position, but I still made the decision.
Say that one more time for the people. I wasn't in the best.
I was not in the best position. Jeez, I forgot what I said.
I was not in the best position,
but I still made the right decision.
But I still made that decision.
That's why TK's on the show.
Yeah, he listened. He listened over here.
Exactly, he listened. That's what's up. I like that. What about you, TK? What was your motivation to self-improve?
I would say that first it was God, and then a lot of the time I just love my family. I had a question of my sister, like, well, how do you keep posting on social media? What motivates you to, post in front of thousands? I'm just like, you guys, if you guys love me and I'm not disowned by you guys, or my family doesn't think negatively of me, then I can do really whatever I want to do in life, because it's just like the people that opinions matter to me, I'm on good terms with them, I would say. How I got into everything is both of my parents are entrepreneurs. So my dad owned his own barbershop in Brooklyn Park, and my mom owns her own mobile phlebotomy clinic. For those of you who don't know, phlebotomy is the people that draw your blood. Okay. So after I left Cato, I came back, seeing that her business was booming and growing, and she just needed help because she was just getting major contracts with doctors and clinics. So I just stepped up and started helping her with her business. After that, kind of like Elijah, I was just like, I want to do my own thing, I'm not really a medical guy. I don't want to stab people with needles all day, so I wasn't into that. And what's crazy is I ended up just praying and trying to figure out what are my strengths and weaknesses. I just did an exercise of asking like 10 of my closest friends and family, what are my strengths, weaknesses, and kind of used the words that they gave me and wrote that down into categories that are careers, and just seeing that it was real estate, owning your own business, or stocks, right? So just took the leap and was like, okay, I'm going to get into real estate. My mom's best friend does it, Shauna Frazier. And then that's kind of how I got into real estate. And just with the self-improvement, I've just been trying to always, like I said, listening to motivational speeches and having family and friends and a dad that always listens to motivational things and just kind of help.
Yeah, that's what's up. I like it for you, TK. It sounds like your motivation was, the influence that people had on you. So we're gonna get into it, and we're going to talk self-care and health next. We're back on the Man Up Club Presents, and we're talking to TK and Emmanuel about self-care and mindset. It is so important as a man to get these things in order, okay? Now, we're going to dive into self-care and health because both of you have mentioned those two things when it comes to the basics of self-improvement. So here's a wonderful statement that a lot of people live by. What goes in is what comes out. Do you agree? And also, what do you feed yourself on that note?
I completely agree. What goes in is what comes out. And I would just say that, again, what I would feed myself is positivity, being around positive, inspiring people that can motivate you and that can make you stay disciplined. So with just my self-care is being an athlete, I love to work out. So I would say that my routine involves working out. I noticed that those are natural dopamines, and it's a great feeling. And then it also makes me more productive because you have higher brain functioning and activity. So I love that statement. I agree with that. And one of the things that I also do to just stay true to my self-care is I have an accountability partner. So it's great to have someone that you're letting to know how many times you're going to the gym, when you're going to the gym, just so either you're going with them or they're checking in on you to make sure you go. So I know sometimes even if you're traveling or distance, at least through social media, if you're in the gym, then you just take a picture, you add them, right, letting them know that you're there just to show, to hold each other accountable.
I like that a lot because there is power in accountability. Doing something by yourself, yeah, you are your only motivation and you're the only one checking yourself. But when hey, I'm feeling tired one day and you got that second person, it's like, okay, I'm finna send you this picture from the gym, bro. So one of the things that you had mentioned was natural dopamine. What do you mean natural dopamine? And yeah, just talk about that. What are things that are natural dopamine and what are things that are not?
So I'm no scientist, but dopamine is one of those things that get released from your body that gives you a natural high or a natural happiness feeling. So I would say natural dopamine is one of them is working out and then just doing things that bring you satisfaction. So it can be eating like a piece of chocolate cake. It can be reading, just those things and activities that a person does that they really enjoy doing that brings them peace of mind. So that gets them a natural high because they like to do it. Like even like people that jog or run marathons, when they run, it's called a natural high, a runner's high. You hear that term a lot. So that's what natural dopamine means. So like I said, working out, it can be reading, it can be journaling. If you love to paint, you're painting. And I think that that's a form of self-care because you're caring about the activities that you like to do, and it gives you that peace of mind when you're doing them.
I just thought about something that a lot of people, there may be a lot of people listening who want to invest in themselves at this level, right? Where they're doing things that get them that natural dopamine feel, like wanting to work out, wanting to read, getting into painting. But one of the things that I learned in school was, I'm really going to butcher this, but it's like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, it's this whole idea that in order to satisfy yourself and improve yourself beyond your basic needs have to be met, right? Like for you to be thinking about, painting and reading 5 books a year, you gotta, the thing that's gotta be checked off for you is making sure that you know where your food is coming from, making sure that you got clean clothes on your back, a roof over your head. So it's like you've got into a place where your basic needs are met. You don't even worry about those things because you're doing these extra things. But there's so many people out here who don't have, quote unquote, access to those things because they're in survival mode. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have either of you guys ever been in that area or space in life? And if you haven't, you can also speak to that too.
Yeah, I would say that I have been, and I would just say it comes a time where, you're paying for everything. You think that you're caught up on your bills, and then your car breaks down, and then just living by yourself, like you only have, so many family and friends that you can call on to ask to borrow money. But I believe that life is hard for everyone, and just being on your own and trying to be independent, you're trying to figure out. So one of my things would just say is what I like to do is just be still. I think that life is coming at 1,000 miles per hour, and a lot of times we run rapid with the things that we're doing for where we can't truly focus or figure out a solution. So a lot of times that when I was down bad, I would say, and I know my story's not as bad as others, but I would say get still, pray, and then try to be resourceful. I'm a strong believer that God gave you everything naturally within you to figure things out and to conquer whatever goal it is that you're trying to conquer. So I would just say get still and try to figure it out from within, and you're more resourceful than you think you are. You know more people that are resourceful and that can help than you know.
I like that because what he's saying is it's not based on taking care of yourself, reaching your goals. It's not based on your circumstances. It's based on the mindset that you can attain. No matter what your circumstances are, you may not be able to, like, for example, you might not be able to get out of a situation where there's a whole bunch of negative people around you, but what you can do is calm your mind, sit somewhere, pray, cut yourself off from people. So it's little steps to self-improvement. Emmanuel, what about you? What has been some ways that you've poured into yourself to self-care?
Yeah, I would say the gym as well. And I just want to agree with pretty much everything that TK said. You are what you consume. So if you're taking the time to work on your mind, your spirit, your emotions, your relationships, that all compounds together. And then later on, something great is bound to come from that. And I also want to touch on being in a challenging position. I want to. There was a time I just have an experience. There was like 2-week period. I ended up getting into a car accident. Ended up paying the deductible, got it fixed. Not even 2 weeks later, I was driving in Columbia Heights and a city sign got blown onto my car.
What?
That's another, but it's just like certain things, like these things, I feel like they're just a test from God. And again, I'm big into challenging myself, and I'm huge on challenges. So it's like, just see those hard times as a challenge just to overcome. And that's something that you're just going to get through. And especially when you incorporate faith, it's just stuff like that doesn't really faze you, because that's not deeper than the spirit. And so I would say just making sure that you're staying in prayer as well. That's huge, because that's going to eliminate a lot of fear and anxiety that you have towards these challenging situations. And yeah, definitely with physical health, you gotta stay in the gym, because like TK said, you really don't see how optimal your brain can function without the gym. And you really don't see those things unless you experience going to the gym consistently. But for those who understand that, it's one of the best things in the world that could keep you inspired, keep you motivated, keep you working hard, because that's something you got to maintain. And even the people who go to the gym consistently, it's not over for them. They still got to maintain it. And so it's just a lifelong journey, and consistently seeing hardships as challenges rather than something that's going to deter you from your path.
I love that. Y'all just got to run that back to soak that in, okay? But also, I want you guys both mentioned the importance of working out. Can you both quickly give us like a snapshot of your weekly routine as far as working out? Like, how often do you work out? Do you separate, there's all this talk about separating your muscular groups and all that stuff. So just give me a snapshot of your workout routine, and what do you do to maintain your physique?
A quick snapshot of my workout routine is waking up at 5 a.m. I know that's early for a lot of people, but I love working out because I'm an athlete. So again, me is going to be more rigorous. I work out like 5 to 6 times a week. So it is just Monday is chest, Tuesday is legs, Wednesday is shoulders, Thursday is back, and then Friday is back to chest. Saturday can be a mixture of things. That's going to kind of more so be cardio. So it's either jump roping, Stairmaster, going on a jog, or going back to doing something that involves kind of the full body workout.
Yeah, I like to keep a variety. I mostly fight train though, so I do kickboxing mainly, but I try and get at least 2 days of lifting, and I would say fight training is cardio on it.
Steroids?
Yeah.
Cardio in itself.
Yeah.
It's intense.
So usually I work out probably four or 5 days out of the week, and most of it is fight training, but I try and take some time to do some lifting as well, and mobility, and a lot of stretching too. I think I stretch every day, because if you're fight training, you're throwing kicks and stuff, you gotta be flexible.
Okay, real quick, talk about the diet that it takes to maintain. Like, are you guys on a specific diet? Do you just avoid junk food? Like, where are you at with that?
I'm a terrible eater, so I'm gonna give this one to TK.
Okay.
Oh man, I would say honestly the same thing. I've been blessed with the high metabolism, so I've been able to kind of eat whatever I want. But seeing that age is catching up now, I've been trying to eat a little bit healthier. So I don't eat pork, I would say. Okay. My family's never been big on pop, so we don't drink a lot of pop. So just cutting out the sugar and things. I'm huge on eating fruit. So I love to eat. I would say that you definitely want fruit in your diet. A lot of fruit. Why? Because a lot of fruit is detoxes. A lot of fruit can actually fill you up in water mass, which makes it easier for you not to be as hungry. And then just fruit in general has a lot of nutrients in it that will cleanses a lot of organs. So I'm talking about can clean your colon, can clean your kidney, your liver, and make you have better memory and everything. So I would say you really want to put fruit in your diet, veggies, and then obviously like protein and things of that nature.
Real quick, what's y'all's opinion about presentation and appearance? I mean, what's the importance of that? Because, I mean, when you came in here, it's not like you came in your PJs, so.
I think people actually tell me to dress better. My thing is, wear something that you feel comfortable wearing, but also something that you could wear in multiple instances, to a business meeting, to an event, and my style is kind of like, it's the sweatpants, but the polo with the fleece. So it's got the comfortability, but it also has the business casual look at the same time. So I try to keep a mixture, but I try to stay comfortable.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We're going to dive into you guys' businesses next. We're back at the Man Up Club Presents, talking about self-improvement and mindset. We just got done talking about self-care and just healthy habits. But now we're going to dive into some business. This is Holy Culture Radio, and we're about to dive into it. Okay, so both of you guys are in the real estate industries, or industry. And so what made you get into this specific one?
I'll start it off. Specific
Industry, real estate.
Yeah. To be honest, I just felt a strong affinity towards it just because most of my strengths in terms of communication, how I want to take care of people and help people and be a leader, it all kind of pointed to real estate. And it's also one of those competitive industries, and I'm a competitive person. I came from sports, so I would say that, and just understanding how lucrative the industry is and what position it could put you in if you really give it your all. So, and that's just what I want to do for my family. Like, I want to be able to put my family in a position that we've never been in before, breaking generational curses out here. So
I know that's right.
And real estate is really just one of those avenues that could take you there. And I know it's a lot of older people in the industry, so it honestly is the best time to jump in as a young person.
That's what's up. But did you go out, and do a Google search like, oh, what is the real estate industry like? Was it that someone came up to you and was like, hey, I think you should be a real estate agent?
Yep. So I ended up going to a networking event, and it was realtors there. It was the people in insurance, all types of businesses, and I was just a student at the time, so I'm just soaking up whatever. And I ended up speaking to some realtor. He was working with Keller Williams, and he was like, "You'd be great at this." And I'm just, I just took it as something to just to wipe off. But later on, probably like 6 months later, I ended up reaching out to him like, "Hey, could you tell me more about this real estate thing? I think I'd be interested." And from there, we ended up having a conversation, and it kind of took off from there.
See, that's what's up. So it was a combination of both for you. Like, you made a decision to be at a specific location, to show up, right, at the right place. And by you showing up and being there, somebody came up to you and was like, hey, I think you should do this.
Networking is everything.
That's what's up. What about you, TK? What made you get into this industry?
Man, his was so great. I don't even really want to talk about mine.
What?
No, I'm joking.
No, that's why we want to hear about it.
Right. So me, it was crazy. Again, I'll start the story with me helping my mom, grow and expand her business, and with her mobile phlebotomy company and clinic. And again, being in the medical field was just something I didn't want to do. I really just wanted to step up to the plate because I really wanted to help my mom and help family grow their business. And again, me listening to motivational speeches and everything and a lot of podcasts, I ended up seeing that on this podcast of Earn Your Leisure, they said the three main things that every wealthy person have is real estate, stocks, and their own business. So then I ended up going home. I did this exercise again of asking 10 of my closest family and friends characteristics of myself, and highlighting all the words that they were using and putting it into like different boxes. So it was sales, it was personal trainer, coaching, and a couple of other things, to say the least. And I highlighted sales because sales is one of the most underrated skills that have no proverbial ceiling. If you can sell anything, you can make a lot of money. And going back to the podcast, I'm like, okay, what can I sell that is involved in business, stocks, or real estate? And it was so funny because then my mom's best friend, Shauna Frazier, again, like I said, is a realtor. So I was like, okay, tried starting my own business, didn't do that. Stocks, a lot of jargon in that, don't want to do that, So I ended up going the real estate route because I'm like, okay, let me get one of these three things in under my belt to, kind of start my journey off. Okay. Ended up going into real estate. And it's so funny because he said that wealthy people have stocks, their own business, and real estate. He didn't say that they were realtors. So I always make that joke and laugh about it because it's like I completely got that message wrong. But ever since being in real estate, I love helping people. Like Emmanuel said, I want to break the generational curse with my family of just being able to build that generational wealth and explain to people the importance of real estate and that land is something that can never be, taken or duplicated. So how important real estate really is and how much it does affect the economy.
I just want to take a moment to commend both of you for wanting to, break generational curses as Black men and just being brave enough to start something new and, take that big step. Like, this is not moves that you're making for yourself only. This is for your kids, like your kids, so that's really commendable. And hopefully we can get some claps in there. Jake.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I want to touch on, because TK, his strategy on social media it's a lot of motivation. And I'm just, off the top of my head, I'm just thinking about this one day. It's like, you just got to take that next step. You got to take the next move. You just got to start. And that's what it is. And that's what it's about. And we just started, and, we're not perfect and we're just getting started, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's hard. Take us through a typical day in the position that you run with real estate. Also reiterate the position.
Usually I'll wake up around 6 o'clock, and then I'll do my personal development, and that's reading, journaling, and stretching. Right after that hour is a power hour, and that's me cleaning up emails or finishing up something that I didn't finish up yesterday in terms of the business, different things like that. After that, we go into follow-ups, and follow-up is huge if you have a business, and that's how you're going to continue to have clients refer people to you and different things like that. So just following up with people, making sure people are taken care of and they got the information that they need. And after that, it's lead generation. So if you're a realtor or if you're a business person, you got to have some forms of lead generation, and that's how you get clients. So for 2 hours, usually I think it's 9 to 11, it's lead generation. And then right after that is practicing my scripts. Scripts are huge, and I didn't understand how important scripts were until recently. Usually I knock out a lot of things by noon. And then once noon hits, then it's gym time.
Okay, run that back real quick. For people who don't know what scripts are, tell us what they are.
So scripts are pretty much,
I would say scripts are just kind of like literally kind of what they just sound like. It's a thought out conversation or a blueprint of what to say when you're having rebuttals against people not wanting to buy a house, or just something that you're following along on to ask certain questions to get to a designated answer or goal that you're trying to achieve.
Oh, I like that.
So there's a lot of scenarios, and conversations can really go in either just so many ways. And practicing scripts and practicing what to say in those situations is super helpful. And you don't have to sound robotic when you're reading off the scripts, but it's like, take that script and then put it in your own personality, your own form of words. And it's just super helpful to know what to say in multiple situations.
Okay, I want to kind of continue with the rest of your day, and then I want to piggyback on this whole idea of scripts. So after you do the scripts, that's a noon, then you do gym, then what's after that? Usually
after that, it's probably just video editing. If I have videos ready to go, or I'm interviewing somebody too. So a lot of video editing, and then I got a couple side jobs as well, so I'm just hustling.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just hustling. Yeah. After working on the business for most of the day, then after the gym, I'm just finding a way to get to it.
That's what's up. TK. Oh, wait, no. Let me go back. Before I go to TK, y'all are talking about scripts and practicing conversations where you're going to face rebuttals, where people are going to say no. In order for you to, close sales or to continue moving forward with your agenda on this journey to success, you have to know how to take a no to the chin and just keep on moving, right? So there's a certain level of confidence that you have to have, not only, personally, but professionally.
That's where scripts come into play.
Would you say that what was the process of you getting to that place where you can just, take a no and just keep on going through it?
I would say it's really just mindset and just understanding that you shouldn't take things personal. Everything is not personal. So even though you did a cold call or something and they're like, forget you, why are you calling my phone, all of that, it's really, they don't know you. So just don't take it personal. Maybe they're having a bad day or whatever. But I think the big thing is just not taking it personal and just understanding that you got to do it. You got to do it, and just don't take things personal. That's what I would say.
I like that. TK, take us through a typical day in the real estate industry when it comes to you doing what you do.
Okay, just real quick to piggyback off Emmanuel, you got to understand he's a stellar real estate agent. He does everything and gets everything done. But I also want to say to piggyback off of what he was saying with it being the scripts part and not taking rejection. I think that every mom raises their kids and be like, I have the best kids in the world. And for me, my mom did such a good job that I really believe nothing is my fault. I say that jokingly, right? So with taking no as a rejection, what Emmanuel was saying is like you kind of take it off of yourself. It could be they're having a bad day. They're waking up late. Like you never know the life that people are living. Mm-hmm. So when it does come to rejection, if you don't internalize it, and like he said, and you have scripts, then it's very easy to take that no and then just figuring out, okay, what you can do or say better. But if you don't internalize that and realize that it's not your fault and keep going, it becomes very, very easy to do and enjoyable. Because cold calling is scary, but again, people are nicer than you think. And then when they are having a bad day, it's very easy not to put that on yourself because it's like, well, I didn't do anything to them. So I think that's another thing or fear that people kind of need to get over as well, I want to say, because you guys don't know each other, right? I would say, though, to get on topic, with my real estate day, is every day is different. Sometimes like this isn't selling Tampa. I just want people to know that you don't just find a house, open the door, and then you're selling them. Like Emmanuel said, it's gonna be you're doing lead generation. So rather that's cold calling or all the different things that you can do, like your sphere of influence, using social media, that's how you're gonna get people to come to you. Again, the next thing is going to be with the follow-up, like every good business has. You need to make these people, you need to be in front of their mind that when they think of a realtor that you're on the forefront of their mind. So you're doing like email marketing and calling them and just checking in on them and just being genuine most likely. And then I would just say it goes into doing the things you like. Like there's so many different ways to skin a cat in real estate that it could be wholesaling. You can work with first-time home buyers. You can work with college students that are wanting to buy a house. You could work with grandparents and moms that are empty nesters. So it's so many ways.
I like that. We're going to dive deeper into it on the Man Up Club Presents. We're back with TK and Emmanuel. We've talked a lot about self-care, time management, the businesses, but we're going to take a step back into the past. How does that sound, y'all?
That sounds good.
Okay. Because a lot of the times you have to look into the past to appreciate the present and look towards a better future. So here's the first question. How were you raised? Describe your household. Emmanuel.
I was raised by a single mother. So it was a single family household. We definitely didn't have a lot of money, but we also weren't broke.
Okay.
So right in that middle ground, my mom still had some money to get me some nice clothes every year, but definitely was not wealthy in any regard. But she was extremely educated as well, and she just taught me. She just taught me so much. She's such a strong woman, and she just went through so much herself. I have an older brother and an older sister. They're both so my sister is 9 years older than me, and my brother is 12 years older than me. So I have a little bit of only child syndrome as well.
Okay.
But it was positive, very positive environment, spirit driven. My mom is on a different level in terms of the spirit, the Holy Spirit. So just being raised in a spiritual household and coming from somewhat of a struggle was very powerful in my story, and I'm just so grateful to have started at that point.
You said she was a single mother.
Single mother.
Okay. Describe the relationship with your dad.
So I know who my dad is, and I've met him many times, but he's just on a different path, a different route that I'm not too interested to be a part of. You know, he comes from a background of a lot of drug activity and gang activity, and after a while, of kind of dealing with something like that, he's like, you gotta make that choice. Like, yeah, I know you love them, but sometimes you gotta let people go, even though you love them. You know, it's one of those things. But actually, that's another reason why I'm in real estate too, because I'm looking to get to such a level to come back from my pops and bring him up. You know, and that sounds backwards, but that's just the cards I was dealt.
Oh, wow. That's really amazing. There's a lot of people who can relate to that, you know. But a lot of the times people think the opposite. You know, people think and have a reason to definitely believe if you don't have a strong father figure growing up in your life, it's likely that as a young black male, you're not going to be successful. So what were the factors that allowed you to be in this position today?
I'm glad you brought that up, because even if you don't have that mentor or father figure in your life, that means you got to go seek it out. And with the internet and YouTube, I was a YouTube kid. So I was on YouTube all the time, just listening to different people, whether it was entertainment or something about self-improvement. But it's just like seeking out mentors, even if you don't have it in your life. And yes, it is crucial to have a father figure in your life. It's crucial, and you see it when you get older. So it's like making sure that you're seeking out mentors in multiple aspects, like spiritual aspect, business aspect, relationships, and family aspect. Seeking out those mentors online, even if they're not in your environment.
You keep on mentioning God and spirituality. Was there a time when you ever felt like you could be successful without God?
I would say, if you're reading I read a lot of like self-improvement books and self-help books, and they kind of remove the aspect of God and still being successful. So yeah, I would say there has been a thought that I could just do it. I could just do this. If I just do what this guy says on this podcast and this guy, then I'll end up being successful. But it's a different kind of successful, because it doesn't necessarily involve the spiritual aspect, which is, it really gets deep once we start talking about the spiritual aspect. Yeah, I hope I'm not sure if I answered the question or not, but
well, you said that yes, you've noticed that when it comes to, you know, advice on self-improvement and all this information that's out here, you do notice that, you know, it's seldom that people put God in there, right? But for you said it's a different type of mindset that you're taking in when you have God as like the center.
It's
right?
so different.
That's what I'm getting from you.
It's so different.
What is the difference? Like, since you're, you know, a believer and you're very successfully driven, like how has God helped in that way?
Yeah, so if we take it back to when I got kicked off the football team again, so there was right after that, because my identity was football at that time. So once that happened, I'm like, okay. So I kind of separated from God a little bit, and then I kind of experienced life without God for probably like half a year or something like that. And then I got back into it, and you just see the difference in the way you go about life, fears, anxiety, different things like that. It's just so much different because God takes care of a lot of those burdens. And I would say life is tough. Life is definitely hard. It's not easy, but it's hard for everybody. So just coming at it from a secular perspective, I'm sure it could get people really, it could really take a toll on people. But just having that spiritual aspect of it, it really takes a lot of burdens off of you.
I'm going to ask you something else. What is the hardest hardship that you've had to overcome in your life so far?
So far, the hardest hardship, probably quitting my 9 to 5, because I just put myself in such a bad position with not really saving anything, but chasing something greater. So I would say that. And there was this, so my first deal, if I didn't go 2 more weeks without a deal, it was gonna look real bad. It was gonna be bad. I was down bad at the time. So it's just, again, it's that spiritual perspective. Like, that's God. That's really God just putting that in my path. So I would say that time where I quit my job and then I got my first deal, that was rough.
Gotcha.
It was rough.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Oh, yeah.
TK, let's hop over to you. How were you raised? Describe your household.
Okay, so my household, both my parents are from Southside Chicago, so I would say book smart and street smart. And my parents were together, and I would also say that we were pretty well off, and they got divorced when I was around in 3rd grade. So and I would just say that they were just both loving. I remember my dad. My dad was like, when you say tough love, I mean tough love, but very strong and encouraging dad that would always point out things to us at a young age, and that would always build us up whenever we would get a haircut. You know, it was like a mano-y-mano talk whenever we would get our haircut, of him just letting us know that we're smart, we're handsome young men, to just get good grades and to focus on ourselves and not following the crowd and to be leaders. And then my mom is a family of 13, and she's the oldest. So very big family. And my dad's side, there's like probably 5 women on that side. So we are a huge family on my mom's side. And then my dad's side is just all men, you know? So,
Wow.
So very competitive household. I have 2 older brothers, 1 older sister. And then my mom just had my younger brother, he's 12. But the way that it goes is they're all right behind each other. So it's 29, 28, 27. And then me,
Whoa.
that's 26. But that's kind of how it is. And I would just say it was a competitive and a loving household. Dad grew up as a Christian too. He was a Jehovah's Witness. And just when they separated, it wasn't that they, just kind of went their own way. It was still that we lived with our dad and stayed with him, and we lived with our mom and stayed with her, and they made it work, and it was a healthy relationship between them, and we were just loved, and me and my siblings and all of us are very close and love and would do anything for each other. So I think that just looking back on childhood memories, it was just a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts and uncles, and just a very supportive and big family that all was always together, going to Crystal Lake with 20 people. I mean, like, when you have a family so big, who are you really having to call for friends and, to come hang out with you guys, So It's just like, I mean, every, Thanksgiving, weekends, it's just you're with 10 of your cousins. So it's like you already have a mob of people to do things, to play tag and things like that. So I think I had a great upbringing. I think that at times it was hard, but I did know that I was loved. And like I said, I always had the support of my family. And that's just why I always just feel like a rock star, that I can do anything because they love me, So that's kind of why I feel that way. So I really feel like I do have home court advantage with a lot of things, because they're always going to be the ones like, just go for it or just do it. So even if I am failing, I could come back to them and get loved on, So I feel like that's not everyone has that. And I think that's just such a huge thing that I have had, that has just made me very confident and have high self-esteem, just because of that aspect of the people closest to me holding me in high regards.
That's what's up. And here's another question for you, TK. Have you ever been afraid or intimidated by success, or afraid you were not going to be successful in life?
Oh, I think everyone has that in the back of their mind. I mean, look at what prices are today. I remember in high school, gas was like $2. So you and your friends get a long way, but like with inflation and everything increasing, it does sometimes get hard to kind of just stay positive. And then I think that also with just being younger, that older people kind of look at you a certain way or wonder why you are so successful, or that you're not successful enough sometimes, and I think that you kind of have that imposter syndrome of being successful, but being like, am I really, because I'm so young, or being like, you're not successful enough because you're so young. So I would definitely say that it has crossed my mind a few times of just success, because you're comparing yourself to other people, and I have to learn how not to, because comparison is the thief of success and happiness. So yeah, I would definitely say that I think everyone, at least once upon a time, when they got to a certain level of success, it's like, okay, how can I maintain this, because this feels great and I don't want to lose it. So
Yeah, that's real. That's really real. I want you guys to both give one word of encouragement to young men out there who want to be successful.
Be okay with staying down. And in that time when you're staying down, invest in yourself, invest in your mindset, invest in your health, all these different things, invest in your spirit, because all these different things, when you're ready to be put in that position, when God puts you in that position of, let's say, power or authority, then you'll be ready for that. But I would say stay down and just continue to grind until it's your time.
TK, what's your last word of encouragement?
Real quick, I just want to say a quote, and it's just, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot be your best. And if you cannot be your best, then you can't be happy. So just with that being said, I would just want everyone to know, just take the risk, bet on yourself, like Emmanuel said, and more likely than not, within time and within patience and fortitude, you're going to make it.
And with that, you have it. The Man Up Club presents Self-Improvement and Mindset. Catch us on the next episode on Holy Culture Radio on Sirius XM, okay?